Namaste, Namaskar, good morning and good evening, my dear friends. A warm welcome to one and all of you, and I greet you with all love and happiness and joy. And I firmly believe that you're doing well. Even otherwise, please do not be so worked up and so worried about the pressures of the world, the worries of the world, because if you want it or not, whether you like it or not, it will come in search of you anyways. Therefore, do not be dismayed or discouraged each time when moments like unforeseen situations, unhappy moments, even some tragic events, when it crosses your path. Yes, we all go through that depression. We all feel very sad in our heart because of certain problems that are unexpected, and I really want you to know that that's life, right? And when you turn around and socialize, that's why socializing with people is very, very important, because that really sheds more light. The problems that you are facing probably is nothing before your colleague or your neighbor or your brother or your sister, or that's why we always encourage that learn to live, or love one another, and learn to forgive one another, and be with one another. We all need each other, right? That's how the mankind, the community is built. All right. These sessions are quite important to all of you. Why? Because here we are actually not preaching or teaching, but we are sharing various experiences, the various nomenclatures of life, the various parameters of life. But ultimately, one thing we want to really touch upon so very vividly: you and I need to be overcomers, right? That's why I told you at the beginning of the session, regardless of any circumstance, any health issues, anything that you go through, you need to overcome. Otherwise, you get stuck there, because the world moves on, with or without you, with or without me, the world moves on. If you want to sail along with the world, that includes your family, your own children, your own wife. How long you can sit in the same state of depression or sorrow or grief? You have to overcome. That's why these sessions are very, very important. But these sessions, right, we call it as motivational series, but we always couple it, or we always tie it off with various nomenclatures of life. I'm sorry, in life, many things are very, very important. Why? Because that is life. Simple theory, right? Life has various parameters, but we get so mucked up, we get so carried away towards various directions, and we also learn to judge the society. No, this is how it is. No, life is really big, it's versatile, right? It's full of diversity, it's full of dynamicity. You really need to learn much from others, and some of the little experiences that I have gone through, I've always come forward to share. If you want me to kind of manufacture any topics that you want me to, please let me know, and we are here to help you, and we help each other. Today's topic is one of the very, very famous topic. You and I can never ignore this topic, or you and I can never make a statement that I've never heard of this. Yes, today's title is all about harassment. Harassment is a very common phenomena, or a criteria, that nowadays is very, very good. I would say, I mean to say, corporates and even the government organizations, they have really formed a council or a committee. It's called as the anti-harassment committee or anti-harassment council. Every organization. Not only that, the government of India also have given a lot of helpline numbers. If you go through any harassments, domestic violences, or anything like that at office, workplace, even at home, you definitely can inform. And there is an anti-harassment helpline number, even like child harassment helpline number, right? You have those numbers, and you can contact them. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about harassment as a topic. What is your understanding? What was my understanding? I literally thought it is connected to only sexual matters. So when the moment I say harassment, what immediately comes on top of your mind is somebody forces someone to have sex with them. This is actually been widely followed or widely believed, which is true. I'm not denying that. It is true. Harassment is very much linked to, for all sexual pleasures. For example, people who are in higher authorities, they always hand twist their subordinates. They take advantage over their subordinates, understanding their economical situation. Initially they will get along very well, they will learn their personal problems, personal weaknesses, and as if they're coming forward to help them, then slowly they start to take advantage over that employee or subordinate. And if you want to stay in this job, I know that you have financial crisis, but you have to really serve me in terms of sexual pleasures and all that. And without a choice, many ladies have gone prey to these kind of monsters that are existing in the same society where we do live, right? And they won't be able to report also, because that's the kind of situation they are going through. But this mindset must change, right? It's not only related to sexual matters, but of course we will deal with that sexual matters. You and I should understand that anti harassment council is very strong, right? And you and I should come forward, right? Regardless of gender, not only stipulated to ladies, even men go through a lot of harassments, and therefore you and I should not be intimidated. You and I should not think twice to come forward and report it. To a large extent, what can happen? Tell me. You will lose your job, but trust me, you will find another job. Another door will open, for which you don't have to go through the state of depression. You don't have to definitely be in that state of it's almost like slavery. You're a bonded laborer. In the olden days, one kingdom invades another kingdom and they are slaves to them, right? As good as like sex workers. You should not do that, because it's a democratic country, it's an independent country. And democracy is all about, we got to respect every human being, regardless of his gender, caste, and culture, and skin color, and all that, right? It becomes racism. Yeah, harassment is tightly coupled with racism. So please take a note of that. Worst case, you can find another job. But what you have really allowed another person to harass you, you can never forget. You can never get over that. If instead of that you can resign, yes, there will be a little bit of struggle, but still you will overcome. You will find ways to overcome. Yeah. And yes, so that's about the sexual related things. But harassment, is it all about only sexual related matters? No. I will read from the Oxford Dictionary what I have found today. Um, Harassment, the actual definition by noun is aggressive pressure or intimidation, right? Not only related to sexual matters, right? For example, somebody pressurizes and threatens you, your boss, your manager, or your employer. If you guys don't deliver this project by so and so time, you will all be laid off. That's actually harassment. If your boss threatens you, yeah, if you whatever terms he uses, right? If you don't get involved in that kind of committee, or you have to polish my shoes or whatever, right? We know people do all sorts of crazy things for the sake of pleasing their managers. You don't have to. You're selling your own birthright. You're selling your own self-respect. Never do that. In a democratic country, probably in other countries like communist countries, a lot of rules are very strict, but in a democratic country, at least like in a country like India, you and I should not bow down. Learn to live your life with lot of self-respect. We are human beings at the end of the day. Yeah. And we are god made creations, and you and I should never lose that respect. If somebody ill treats you, you got to report or politely tell them that you cannot be treated this way. If they don't listen, climb up the next ladder and report. Be brave and courageous. They face daily harassment and assaults on the streets. People get harassed on the streets also, right? That is also included. And synonyms, now comes the synonyms. Persecution, I won't get into that, because the moment persecution comes, it is talking much about slavery. For example, before independence in India, many people were persecuted. They were bet on the streets, they were killed, they were raped by the British soldiers, and so many things happens. Yeah. When the war happens, there is no law and order. So persecution, at least now, that is not the case in India, but it still happen in pockets, in the name of caste, in the name of religion, in the name of language. Some persecutions keeps happening, but not in a large measure, and it's well controlled, right? Immediately government deploys their army or police force, and they declare 144. They contain that environment, and they immediately react. Therefore, I won't call that's a problem as of today. And pestering is also another definition of harassment. Pestering means what? For example, I used to work with a manager. You know what that fellow does? He, unfortunately, that guy is a technical fellow. and I don't know who gave him this manager. He's not fit for administrative position, but he became a manager long ago, not in my current company. He will pull his chair and he will sit next to me and he will literally look at my monitor and keyboard. You're coding, right? Let me look at it. He will sit there for 1 or 2 hours and he won't move. And my hands will be kind of jittery. And I was a very young person at that point of time. And whatever thoughts comes, whatever innovation comes, whatever, even the normal coding I would forget. And the fellow judges based on that performance. I will sit closely and watch everyone, and based on which I will provide appraisals and feedback and all that. And I was kicked out of that company. I could not survive in that company for more than 9 months. I had to get out of that company and I went to a different place and I did well there. It shook my self confidence because the guy stamped me, you are unfit for this profession. You can no way excel, you can no way prosper, this and that and all that. And a very young youngster, what is that called as? It's harassment, it's pestering. That fellow didn't even know. And the organization also did not take a note. And when I walked out of that company, no exit interview. They never took feedback. Why are you leaving this company? Right? And I have to get out of that place because of this harassment. And I have no place to report, no where to report, no one to report. Because that organization believed that this model is a very good model. Micromanaging employees. See how well a manager sits next to an employee and he watches from a close distance. Oh, how well he is coding or how bad he is coding. And he's hand holding him, he's mentoring him. No, you're not mentoring. Mentoring happens gently, right? You got to coach a person, you got to mentor a person. It happens gently. Gently means what? They approach you. You don't go and force them. That's called as not. That's not mentoring. That's pestering. You want to mentor somebody, wait for them to reach to you. You don't go and call people in the name of advice. Don't bore them and kill them. There are many people like that. That's another harassment. It's like a verbal harassment. Some people will keep talking and talking and talking and boring people. It's a verbal harassment. Well, it's not there in the Oxford dictionary, but it's in my dictionary. I'm telling you, so many people bore me. The next time when I look at them from one side of the street, I will run away from the other end, and I'll pretend as if I've never heard them. They will call me, please come and all that. Verbal harassment is another thing, and annoyance. Some people, they keep irritating. It's like sledging in cricket, right? Australians are very famous for that. Behind the stumps, they will call some names. They will speak bad about your mother, your father, and this and that, and ultimately this guy loses temper and he gets bored. Same thing happened in football. Zidane, right? The captain of France, 19 what is that? Not 19 actually. What 2006 World Cup I think football, and finals France versus Italy. One guy was deployed to verbally harass this guy and kind of annoy, irritate him, and ultimately it worked. The guy did a headbutt and he was given red card. Immediately after that, 2 goals were fired and Italy won over France. That is also an harassment. Somebody keeps irritating you. In the name of joke, they talk about your skin color, the way how you're dressing, about your height, maybe you're too short. These are all harassments about your outlook, the way how you smile. Probably when you smile, all the teeth is available. See, when he smiles, all the teeth is available. What to do? I have 32 beautiful teeth and it's visible and all that. And they crack jokes in front of people. See how he walks and all that. This is all like not only irritation, this is a form of harassment. You have to report. Why? Because this irritation could become some sort of mental pressure and you will outburst. You will end up even slapping that guy and you may land up in jail. Why you should land up in jail? Because the root cause of that slap was that guy who irritated you enough, and it keeps building up. And don't pretend in a crowd. When you dislike somebody, insults you, irritates you, you have to say that I did not like it. Now what you did was not right. In the front of same crowd, you should tell them. Probably 5 among the 10 will at least think, oh, what we did was not right. Many people don't think, they just enjoy the joke and all that, right? The annoyance, aggravation, very aggressive deadlines. Some people are very aggressive in giving unrealistic deadlines. Managers and company project deadlines, you should say no to it, because you are paid to work for 8 to 9 hours, and if the work demands 14 hours of your time, 18 hours of your efforts, you really need to walk to your HR and you need to complain why this kind of timeline is being given. and work life balance is being hampered. It's a kind of harassment, and I cannot agree to it. You have every right to make that statement. If they don't agree, forget it, find a different company. At least you will have a good health, you will live long. You don't have to over stress like that. Uh, Pressurization, it's tightly coupled to aggression, pressurization, and all this irritations, everything are coupled. Molestation, I already spoke about it. Physically molesting, some guys, literally they put their hands over the shoulders of some women, and they will slap on their shoulders and in front of people, or even in private. No, no touching. Touching female is not allowed. Not only in corporate world, you, in a country like India, known for its culture, known for its tradition, right? We respect women. And same, dear women listening to me, right? You are the one who give room, right? You push that guy, that guy will get the room to push you back. You slap him on his back, then that guy also gets room to slap on his back. Why this touching, right? And there is nothing called as bad touch, good touch, and all that. Don't touch each other, because the moment you start touching, that's the first step for the guy to get closer to you. And then later on, don't go and say that he touched me here, there, bad touch, and all that. No, sorry, you gave the room, right? This is one aspect. The other aspect is when you didn't give room, but this guy, he has that habit of doing this. You got to warn him. I'm warning you for once, and first and last warning. You do this again, not that I'm going to keep quiet, not that I'm going to request you again, but you will have to bear the consequences. You alert him. Some people do it unknowingly, probably that's the way they were brought up in their families, but you need to teach them discipline, you need to teach them respect. All right. I think that's all I had in my list. Guys, I think today's session was like you being in a red hot oven. The harassment as a topic is all about, one doesn't have that intention, or one doesn't have that attitude to respect somebody, um, or give respect and take respect. One doesn't fall in these lines. That's called as harassment in general terms. But people exceed the limits. They are very wicked, and they take advantage of someone's deprivement or someone's weakness and all that. That's a different form. I'm not even talking about that. Some people, allow these kind of harassments to happen due to situation, due to circumstance. We touch that. Please stop that. Please stop doing that. Your circumstance, your situation can never be blamed for what you have done or what you have allowed. Your circumstance, situation always will impose certain challenges, but you don't have to bow down. You are a human being, and you deserve respect. And especially don't give away your self respect, right? Be a human, be brave, be strong, be courageous, be bold enough to face any situation, and never ever come to a conclusion. I make this one point, and I close with that. Never ever come to a conclusion that this is the end of the road. There is no other option for me. If I resign this job, what else will I do? How can I look after my family? What will my kid do and all that? Don't have too many thoughts. If a situation forces that you have to get out of that place, you follow the process, right? You don't have to immediately resign, because it is not that fellow's company who is harassing you, but he is also working for the same employer, and the employer has got these kind of councils in conjunction to what the government of India has depicted as a law, right? They formatted a law, or they formulated a law, and they have to abide by the law. In fact, the government of India is watching over all the corporates and all the organizations, and they don't encourage harassment by law. And the definition of harassment is little wider, a little broader than what you might have thought, which also I have given you the visibility. So from today onwards, please ensure that you respect the law. You 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 allow somebody to harass you, you are disrespecting the law, because the law says don't allow anybody to harass you, and you need to respect the law. Go report it to your council and all that. When you join a company, they give you induction program, right? In that they clearly mention all this. If they don't mention, open up your mouth and mind. Please ask them, where is the anti-harassment law? You have not described anything about it. Oh, we don't have anything like that. Please walk to your HR and ask them why such a committee is not there, why such a council is not there. It's your right. Therefore, please work in peace. Please live as a human. Please respect one another. And please learn to live your lives of your honest earning, right? Do not have that wicked thought that you could take advantage over somebody weaknesses and therefore you could prosper more, or therefore you can take pleasures out of somebody weakness, someone else's weakness. You are not a human being, actually you are an animal, because animal does that, right? A tiger runs in search of a little deer or a goat and all that. Why? Because it's weak, and it kind of pounces and takes its prey and runs into the jungle and eats it up, and then sleeps for almost 2 weeks. And after eating up its prey, the lion will sleep for 2 weeks and all that. No. Are you an animal? No. They are all human beings. We are supposed to help each other, love one another, support each other, and we build this society together, right? So please unplug that harassment as an attitude. In case if you are involved in that, in case if you had been doing this unknowingly or knowingly, get out of that peripherals of harassment. In case if you are a person on the other end receiving this harassment gladly, without a choice what to do and all that, today is your chance. Let it be the last day, right? Go follow the process, or take a decision and finish it off. Don't live in this kind of depression, don't live in this kind of pressure. God bless you. Take care. Please subscribe to our channel if you have not. You will start receiving so many notifications and many videos like this we keep releasing. Do not miss, because it's all going to be very helpful and this is much needed for your life. Right? Life is really broad, it's versatile. You may think I know everything. No, so I was also thinking the same. But it's much less what we know than what we are supposed to know. Right? Life is really broad enough, and therefore make every efforts to listen. And if you want any topics, please let us know. There is a comment section, comment, and we will prepare some sessions for you, or email me, or do something that you want. And we have given our WhatsApp number. You can WhatsApp me. We are here to help you. All right. Take care. God bless you.